In a quiet corner of this restless world, we pause. We set aside the noise, the rush, the endless chase, and open a door to a place where words are not just read, but felt, where every page carries the scent of wisdom, and every story whispers a truth about life. Welcome, dear listener, to Guide to Reads, where each book is not merely paper and ink, but a lantern for the mind and a mirror for the soul. Here, we wander through the thoughts of great thinkers, gathering fragments of insight and returning with treasures for both the heart and the intellect. And today, we speak of a game that has no end. A game played in glances and pauses, in handshakes and whispers, in royal courts and corner offices alike. Some call it leadership, others call it politics. But Robert Greene calls it power, and he dares to reveal its 48 laws. From the days when emperors commanded armies to the modern world of CEOs and influencers, the same invisible threads have pulled at the hands of decision-makers. Those who learn to weave them rise above the rest. Those who ignore them often find themselves bound by them. So we open the 48 laws of power, not to learn how to manipulate, but to understand. Because whether we choose to wield it or not, power shapes the world around us. And to walk safely through its corridors, we must first learn to see in the dark. 1. The art of positioning. In the theater of life, as in the theater of power, the stage is rarely ours alone. Others move beside us, some in the light, some in the shadows, and every step we take is seen through the eyes of those who watch and those who judge. The first whisper of wisdom is this: do not outshine the master. Picture yourself beside a great king, your mind sharp, your vision bold, your potential blazing like the midday sun. And yet, the brighter your light, the more it casts shadows upon his crown. History remembers many who rose too fast, their brilliance igniting not admiration, but envy. And envy, like fire, consumes quickly. Their ascent was brief, their fall, merciless. The wise learn that power is not only in rising, but in knowing when to rise. Sometimes the surest path upward is to let another stand in the full glow, while you move with quiet grace in the penumbra. But humility is not weakness, it is the art of carrying silent authority, the kind that speaks before you do, the kind that earns respect without demanding it. Stand tall, speak with care, let your stillness carry weight. A crown, after all, is not first worn on the head. It is worn in the mind until the world learns to see it there. Yet even a crown can lose its shine when seen too often. Guard your presence. If you are always there, you risk becoming part of the furniture. If you are too easily reached, you invite disregard. Like the rare pearl or the brief blossom of spring, let your absence make your presence more precious. For what is rare is desired, and what is desired is protected. Positioning, then, is not a single act, but a delicate balance, between shining and shadowing, between appearing and retreating, between claiming respect and letting others feel great in your company. Master this balance, and you will not need to chase power. It will come to you, and it will stay. 2. The subtle hand of influence. Not all power roars like thunder. Some power moves like a whisper in the dark, felt more than heard, guiding choices, shaping paths, yet leaving no trace of the hand that steered them. This is the subtle hand of influence, the rare art of winning without your opponent ever knowing they've lost. Sometimes that hand works through a lure. It does not push, it pulls. It does not force the door, it makes the door open itself. Seduction, in its truest form, is not confined to romance. It is the ability to make your presence, your vision, your offer, something the other longs to follow. Force can bend a will, yes, but it breeds resentment. Resentment is a seed, and seeds grow. Seduction, however, leaves the other convinced it was their choice all along, even as they walk the path you laid for them. At other times, influence chooses patience over pressure. It yields to win. Think of the master swordsman lowering his blade, stepping back as though defeated, each retreat drawing his opponent deeper into the web. This is tactical surrender, not weakness, but the wisdom to bend so you will not break, to conserve your strength until the tide turns in your favor. And then there is the power of being unreadable. Routine is a map, and maps make you predictable. But the unpredictable player leaves no clear path to follow. One sudden, unexpected move can send even the most confident rival into hesitation, and hesitation is the crack where victory enters. The subtle hand of influence is never in a hurry. It is patient as the tide, precise as a single drop of rain that starts a river. It charms, it retreats, it confuses, not in chaos, but in perfect timing. Like the wind, it can be soft enough to caress, or strong enough to change the shape of the land itself. 3. The subtle art of seduction and manipulation power does not always storm the gates. Sometimes it walks in through the front door, invited, welcomed, even celebrated, while those who open the door never realize what they have surrendered. In politics, in business, in the quiet negotiations of personal life, the most skilled players know this truth. It is not enough to control what people do. You must shape what they feel, what they believe, and what they dream of. Robert Greene threads this truth through a tapestry of laws, each a strand in the same silken web. Law 3. Conceal your intentions. Law 6. Court attention at all costs. Law 12. Use selective honesty and generosity to disarm. Law 13. Appeal to self-interest. Law 32. Play to people's fantasies. Picture a ruler who seeks to expand his reach. He does not declare his ambitions. Instead, he scatters stories like seeds, offers gifts that disarm suspicion, and spins visions that stir the heart. His rivals stare at the glitter in his right hand, never noticing the quiet work of his left, moving the true pieces into place. By the time they awaken to the change, the game has already been won. Law 3. Conceal your intentions. The less they know of your true aim, the less they can defend against it. Opacity is not weakness, it is armor. Law 6. Court attention at all costs. Power withers in the dark. To lead, you must be seen, but seen on your terms. Visibility creates authority, but only when the image is yours to shape. Law 12. Use selective honesty and generosity to disarm. One gesture of truth can mask 100 hidden moves. People trust the hand that gives. Law 13. Appeal to self-interest. Do not plead. Offer a bargain in which the other believes they gain more than they give. Law 32. Play to people's fantasies. Reality can be cold, dreams are warm. Give them a vision more beautiful than the world they see, and they will follow you anywhere. The true genius is not in using these laws in isolation, but in weaving them into a seamless net. Mystery shields your steps. Attention magnifies your presence. Generosity opens the gates. Self-interest wins you allies. Fantasy keeps them loyal. From Cleopatra's intoxicating charm to Steve Jobs unveiling a device no one knew they needed. History is rich with masters who understood to rule hearts and minds is to win the game before the first move is even made. For the illusionists of power, in the theater of ambition, reality rarely takes the stage. It waits behind the curtain, silent and unseen, while appearance stands in the spotlight, dazzling the crowd, shaping belief, rewriting truth in the minds of all who watch. Robert Greene knew this well. Power is not only about what is, it is about what seems to be. And those who rise highest are not only leaders or warriors. They are illusionists, masters of the stage, performers in the grand play of perception. Look closely at history's great rulers, its cunning generals, its celebrated artists. They did not simply act, they performed. Every gesture was deliberate. Every silence was a line in the script. Every appearance was part of the story they wanted the world to believe. From Greene's tapestry of laws, we draw together a single shimmering principle: the control of perception. Law 6. Court attention at all costs. In a world where voices compete for a moment of the ear, invisibility is death. If they are not speaking of you, they are forgetting you. Like the peacock whose feathers blaze under the sun, you must demand attention, but always on your terms. Attention born of desperation is the mask of the weak. Law 17. Keep others in suspended terror. Cultivate an air of unpredictability. Humans fear what they cannot predict. Show them the same move twice, and they will read your mind. But break the pattern, move like a knight across the chessboard, never in a straight line, and they will remain unsure, hesitating where they should advance. And in hesitation, you find your opening. Law 34. Be royal in your own fashion. Act like a king to be treated like one. Power begins in the way you carry yourself, not arrogance, but quiet dignity. Stand as though the crown is already yours, and others will adjust their gaze to match. The world lends its respect to those who respect themselves. Law 37. Create compelling spectacles. Power loves a good show. Ceremonies, symbols, grand gestures. They ignite emotion faster than reason can argue. One moment of spectacle can speak louder than 1,000 explanations. Napoleon's self-coronation. Steve Jobs revealing a single glowing device to a darkened crowd. These were not accidents. They were theater, with purpose. The thread that binds them. In every one of these laws, Greene is whispering the same truth. People don't simply follow power. They follow the story power tells. Craft that story well, in how you are seen, in the unpredictability of your steps, in the dignity of your presence, and in the grandeur of your gestures. And you will not need to chase influence. It will come to you, drawn as if by gravity, to the force of the image you have woven. 5. Friends, enemies, and the chessboard of trust. In the realm of power, people are never just people. They are pieces, knights, bishops, pawns, moving across a vast and unforgiving chessboard. Some will shield you, some will strike you, and some will smile as they sharpen the knife. Robert Greene gives us a warning in Law 2. Never put too much trust in friends. Learn how to use enemies. Friends, he says, are dangerous in their familiarity. They expect more, forgive less, and their envy, once roused, can turn a friend into a saboteur. An enemy, however, has something to prove. In their hunger to redeem the past, they can serve with a loyalty sharper than any friendship. But even the strongest alliance means little without the armor of perception. Law 5. So much depends on reputation. Guard it with your life. Reminds us that reputation is not a reflection in a mirror. It is a shadow that runs ahead of you. It announces your arrival before you speak a word. Lose it, and you are left standing bare in a world that will not hesitate to strike. When alliances are forged, Greene offers a colder truth in Law 14. Pose as a friend, work as a spy. Power feeds on information. The closer you stand to someone's heart, the easier it is to read the map of their mind. And once you hold their secrets, you can move the pieces on the board without ever lifting a blade. Yet not every piece is worth playing. Law 19. Know who you're dealing with. Do not offend the wrong person. Reminds us that each person you meet carries invisible battle scars, unspoken pride, and grudges that sleep until you rouse them. One careless insult can awaken an enemy whose vengeance will outlast your own lifetime. In the end, the game of friends and enemies is not about affection. It is about positioning. Those who navigate with a cool head and a sharp eye will rule the board. Those who play on sentiment will find themselves played. 6. The theater of power. Timing, distraction, and grand gestures. In Greene's world, power is never just about what you do. It is about when you do it, and how the world sees it. Every move is a performance. Every pause, a calculated beat in the silent music of influence. Law 6. Court attention at all costs. Invisibility is death in the arena of power. The bold, the strange, the dazzling. These are the ones the world remembers. You don't have to be loved, but you must be seen. A powerful figure is like a flame. People cannot help but gather, moth-like, to its glow. Without that light, you are not feared. You are forgotten. Yet power is a paradox, and Greene reminds us with Law 16. Use absence to increase respect and honor. Too much presence dulls the senses. Familiarity breeds the illusion of equality. Withdraw at the right moment, and you leave behind a vacuum. A vacuum that pulls at curiosity, longing, even obsession. That tension is sharpened by Law 17. Keep others in suspended terror. Cultivate an air of unpredictability. Predictability is comfort, and comfort makes you weak. An enemy who can map your next move will trap you. But if your steps break the pattern, if your rhythm stumbles just enough to confuse, hesitation seeps in. And hesitation is the doorway through which victory walks. Finally, Greene hands us one of the rarest weapons. Law 35. Master the art of timing. Like a patient hunter, you must know when to wait in the shadows and when to strike. Too soon, and the prey escapes. Too late, and the feast is gone. The powerful don't merely live within time. They bend it, stretch it, and make others dance to its rhythm. On this stage, nothing is accidental. Every glance, every gesture, every pause is part of the play. And the true masters are the ones who make the audience believe it was all effortless. Turfs, the velvet chains, seduction, manipulation, and psychological warfare. In Robert Greene's Labyrinth of Power, the deadliest weapons are not forged from steel, but from words, glances, and the unseen threads of human desire. Law 33. Discover each man's thumbscrew. Every soul carries a hidden lever, a fear, a longing, a wound they guard in silence. Find it, and you hold the compass to their decisions. Some are prisoners of vanity, others slaves to greed, and some are haunted by ghosts of the past. Power lies in touching that nerve with precision, pulling gently, not to break, but to guide them where you wish them to go. Law 34. Be royal in your own fashion. Act like a king to be treated like one. People do not see the world as it is. They see the world you present to them. If you walk as though you were born to wear the crown, others will clear the path and polish the throne. Self-respect is magnetic. It draws recognition without asking and commands loyalty without pleading. Law 43. Work on the hearts and minds of others. Fear can chain the body, but only love and loyalty can chain the soul. If you wish for permanence, do not merely command, inspire. Speak to their pride, their dreams, their secret hopes, and they will fight your battles as if your cause were their own. These are not the laws of brute force. They are the velvet chains, soft, almost invisible yet unbreakable. They are the poison hidden in sweet wine, the whispered promise in the glow of candlelight. They do not batter down walls. They make them melt away. 8. The invisible daggers, espionage, deception, and outwitting the enemy. In Robert Greene's arena, the cleverest warrior is rarely the one with the loudest roar or the heaviest sword. No, the true master is the one whose blade you never see until it's already found its mark. Law 14. Pose as a friend, work as a spy. Trust, my friends, is the most exquisite disguise. Step into their circle, share their laughter, raise a glass at their table, while quietly collecting the truths they guard most fiercely. Information is the gold of power, and the richest are not those who hoard treasures, but those who know the truth before it is spoken. Law 15. Crush your enemy. Totally mercy may sound noble, but Greene whispers a warning. Mercy leaves roots, and roots grow back. Half measures are the seedbed of future wars. If you must fight, then end it in such a way that the thought of challenging you again never dares to bloom. Law 39. Stir up waters to catch fish. Confusion, too, is a weapon. Unsettle them. Make their minds race and their tempers flare, for a person in chaos becomes a puppet of their own emotions. And while they thrash and sputter, you, calm, watchful, strike with precision. Law 48. Assume formlessness. Nothing is easier to strike than a target that stands still. So do not stand still. Change. Adapt. Flow like water, shifting shape faster than they can draw their plans. Let them swing at shadows while you pass, untouched around every blow. In this realm, the greatest victories are the quietest ones. No banners, no cheers, no grand announcements. Only the silent realization, perhaps much later, that the war was already over before it began. 9. The crown of reputation. Building an untouchable image. In the vast kingdom of power, your reputation is your crown, the shining emblem that remains even when the spotlight fades. It is the shadow that follows you, long after you have left the stage. Robert Greene reminds us, to be feared or revered, you must first be known, but not merely known, respected. Law 5. So much depends on reputation. Guard it with your life. A single whisper, a single rumor, can undo years of carefully built influence. Guard your name as a king guards his crown, fiercely, relentlessly, without compromise. For when it is tarnished, you may spend a lifetime rebuilding what was lost in a moment's carelessness. Law 25. Recreate yourself. Power is never still, and neither should be your image. The masters of influence do not cling to one form. They evolve, adapt, and reinvent themselves as the tides of the world shift. Like a river carving new paths, they shed the old and predictable, emerging renewed, and more formidable than before. Law 37. Create compelling spectacles. Power thrives on presence. Grand gestures, unforgettable acts, symbolic moments. These are the stagecraft of the influential. They seize attention, stir emotion, and transform fleeting moments into legend. From Napoleon crowning himself emperor, to a leader delivering words that change a nation, spectacle shapes history. Reputation is more than what others say. It is a story you write with every decision, every glance, every word. Build it well, and it becomes a fortress, unshaken by attack, untouchable by envy. 10. The quiet power within, mastery of emotion and patience. True power doesn't begin with controlling others, it begins with mastering yourself. Robert Greene teaches us that the most commanding leaders are not those who raise their voices the loudest, but those who first command their own emotions. Law 33. Discover each man's thumbscrew. To read others, you must first read yourself. Every person is driven by a unique blend of fears, desires, and hidden weaknesses. And you are no exception. When you understand these forces, you can predict reactions, guide decisions, and turn raw emotion into a tool rather than a trap. Law 35. Master the art of timing. Patience is not weakness. It is precision in disguise. The world rewards those who wait for the right moment, who strike not out of impulse, but when the conditions align perfectly. To master timing is to know when to advance, when to hold back, and when to let the flow of events carry you closer to your goal. Law 44. Disarm and infuriate with the mirror effect. When you reflect people's actions and emotions back at them, something powerful happens. You can create empathy, sow confusion, or stir frustration, all without uttering a direct challenge. It is a silent choreography in which you guide the rhythm of interaction, all while appearing to simply follow it. In the hidden arenas of influence, it's rarely the loudest who wins. It's the calm mind, the steady hand, the patient heart. Final summary. Power, as Robert Greene reveals, is neither inherently good nor evil. It is a force, neutral, unpredictable, and potent. The true mastery lies in how one chooses to wield it. It can elevate or destroy, unite or divide, heal or wound. And so, it demands awareness, humility, and above all, responsibility. To truly understand it is to see power as a living dance, a balance between ambition and ethics, between control and compassion. As we close this exploration, remember, a book may not be enough to change the world, but it can be enough to start changing you, one step at a time. If you found a glimmer of light here today, share it with your loved ones, and stay with us on this journey of wisdom. Thank you for listening to the Guide to Reads podcast, where every flash of insight lights the path ahead.